I'm gonna get, like, straight into it. Like, we're not gonna get to know each other at all right now. I'm going straight to the point because, as you see, we have 122 slides. The one thing I am gonna say is I'm drinking lemonade tonight. I just love a solo cup. I was just saying this. I'm watching Real Housewives of Atlanta right now, and I was like, I hate that I'm so, like, Kim Zolciak coded because she literally sucks so bad, but I'm so Kim Zolciak coded. Like, I go everywhere with my little solo cup, and every time I see her walking in going, and me and her hold it the same way too, I'm like, is that what I look like to people? Yikes. Kim Zolciak's stream was one of my favorite streams ever. That's definitely the top tier list. Next week, we're talking about the Denver airport. Also, Dr. Sofyan, we just crossed 12,000, so we're almost halfway there, which is inspiring, but I'm going to chew my eyes, sorry. We're almost halfway there, which is inspiring, but it would be far more inspiring if we were all of the way there. So QR code is down there. The link is on my link tree and all that fun stuff. Please read, please donate, please share. Yeah, hey, checking in from DC, help. Oh, ooh, good luck with that. Oh, we pipelined? We pipelined? Yeah, next week we're talking about the Denver airport. If you don't know, about the Denver airport, there's a lot of weird stuff going on at the Denver airport. Like, I'm not 100% sure what everything is going on, but, like, they spent way too much money on it. The murals are very weird. There's tunnels. Like, there's a lot going on there, and we are going to break down all of it. This week's stream, I put so much effort into. I was just, like, really going off because the more I was digging, the more I was learning, and I just included all of it. Like, I literally made this in one sit down. Real Housewives of Orange County on, spent like 4 hours on this, like zoom, 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 Celsius ingested into my body. Like, it was actually incredible. So, I'm very excited about this. Let's go ahead and get into it. The rise and fall of America's first family. We are going to be respectful, but we're not going to be too respectful. So just to set some, like, ground rules for the community, I don't like to talk about children. We will talk about them in the context of their parents, like when they were born, but beyond that, we're really not going to talk about children. But I just want to be, like, respectful because it is a family going through a hard time. That being said, they are very rich and they make money off of being in the public eye. So, like, we are the public and we are watching what's happening. So, like, we are going to be respectful towards the sensitive things and their kids, but, like, y'all are on TV. So I feel like that is giving us a little leeway. And that's one thing that I do like is about this community a lot is that y'all are very good at, like, joking about serious things without punching below the belt. Because I think that's a hard thing to do, to, like, joke about serious things. And a lot of people do it in, like, a nasty, vindictive way. And y'all do it in a smart way, which is why I really like you. FB Chem, first live watch. Oh my God, I got a new vape for class today. We do not condone the use of tobacco products. Big Tobacco has not sponsored us, so until they do, we do not condone. Imagine if Big Tobacco sponsored me. Would y'all be mad? Be honest. Like Philip Morris, like some, like, old tobacco company. I don't even know if that's a tobacco company or in business. No, we're not going to talk about North's Lion King performance. That's what I mean. Like, I was like, as kids, we all did cringy performances. She did not ask for that to be on the national stage, and that's her parents' fault. So, like, we can make fun of her parents for putting her in that position, but I don't want to make fun of her. You know what I'm saying? That's the line that we're on. I'm not mad, girl. Get your not mad, disappointed. Until they do. Listen, you always have to be open to opportunities because you never know. You never know where life is going to take you. So you always have to have an open mind. So anyway, we've already been here 4 minutes. Clock is ticking. Time is wasting. Let's talk about them. If you do not know who these people are, Kanye West is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, record producer, and fashion designer. One of the most prominent figures in hip-hop. He's also known for his varying musical style and polarizing cultural and political commentary. He's on the left. If you couldn't tell. Kimberly Kardashian, she is Kim K. She is Kim Kardashian. If anyone here doesn't know who that is somehow, what I imagine is like, do you think aliens watch my stream and they're like, oh, we're learning? Like, she's like giving us good insight into the humans. I also used 3 eyelashes instead of 4 and I hate it. But anyway, do you think the aliens are watching it and they're like thinking this is helpful? I feel like this would also be really helpful for like, you know that show where the people are Amish and then they stop being Amish? Do you know what I'm talking about? Breaking Amish. That one. I feel like my streams, like if they were, like they should binge watch my streams before they go outside, because like when people reference Kim K, they'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. The aliens are using this as a mission brief. So anyway, Kim Kardashian is an American media personality. She has a famous reality TV show. She's on a couple famous reality TV shows. She first gained media attention. Oh, wait. She's a socialite, businesswoman, and actress. I'm Kim Kardashian, millionaire, mom, business. I don't know what it is, but you guys know what I'm talking about. She first gained media attention as friend and stylist of closet organizer of Paris Hilton, but received wider notice after she had a sex tape of hers released without her consent. Like, she is the CEO of capitalizing on a bad situation where you were done really dirty and exploited. So I do admire her for that. That was in 2007. And later that year, she got the show Keeping Up with the Kardashians on E, which was on until 2021, and then now it's on Hulu, and it's just called Kardashians, I think. A lot of people think I watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I've seen the first 4 seasons. I stopped watching after that. So anyway, trigger warning on this stream a lot. Kanye does have some mental health issues. I think he's been diagnosed as a couple different things. The most recent that I saw was borderline personality, I believe. We are not going to get too much into his mental health diagnosis, but we are going to talk about the things that he's done in public throughout their divorce. So it will become talked about as it's relevant to their marriage, but I'm not going to go into like his backstory or anything that he has said or done outside of their marriage, because there's a lot there. That could be a whole other stream that I'll probably never do. In my personal opinion, based on the behavior that I'm seeing, not as a doctor, not as anybody, I think that Kanye is a narcissist, and I view a lot of his behavior as abusive. This is a topic that I am personally familiar with, so I'm going to be mindful in talking about that. I just want to tell you that we are going to talk about it, but it's not going to be super heavy like I try and usually do. I think they're both narcissists, actually. I think that is a fair point. Also, a trigger warning, Kim K had some pregnancy health terribleness scary things and used surrogates, so that is going to come up as well. I'll give you a warning closer to it. You'll kind of be able to tell when it's coming. If that's a sensitive topic for you, women's beauty standards, men being controlling, like this is a real family going through very heavy things, so those heavy things are going to come up. So if you are like feeling super sensitive right now, maybe like put on Bob's Burgers or something. So I didn't realize how long ago they met. They met in 2002 or 2003 when Kim was working as Brandy's assistant. I don't know who Brandy is. I met him in 2002 or 3. He was recording a song with Brandy. I was her friend. I vividly remember hanging out with him, and they did a video together. So I'd seen him a few times. He was asking his friends, who is this Kim Kardashian? He didn't know what my name was, she said during a TV thing. She was married to Damon Thomas at the time, but she remained friends with him, and he revealed that he was drawn to her from the moment he saw her. I just knew I wanted her to be my girl for a long time. I remember I saw a picture of her and Paris Hilton, and remember telling my boy, have you seen that girl Kim Kardashian? Like, you loved her so much, but not enough to learn her name, is what I'm like picking up off of that, just right off the bat. So then in 2008, he insisted that she was cast in his puppet comedy show. The way he's literally pointing a gun at her, there's always signs. I'm telling you, there's always signs, okay? There's always, you gotta keep your eyes up. Eyes up, people. This was his puppet show, Alligator Boots. Director Tom Stern recalled the writing part of Princess Leia, and Kanye insisted that they needed the reality star. We were talking about it, and Kanye was like, no, get Kim Kardashian. Though the show never took off, he did get her to play Princess Leia, and she tweeted old photos from the set in 2018. So, here, let me make sure my volume is up. Kerchow. Let me make sure my mic is how it's supposed to be. I'm assuming y'all would have said something if it wasn't. Yeah, perfect. Let me catch up with the chat. That's actually more than 20 years ago. Why would you say that? Why would you say that right now? On today of all days.
To Kanye West, some Muppets, and Kim Kardashian dressed up as Princess Leia. Yeah, here's the deal. Kanye was trying to get a show on Comedy Central called Alligator Boots. It was a sketch series. It featured music.
We're going to skip ahead.
Let me lay you down on my silky sheets.
You mean to tell me this didn't take off? No, this wasn't an immediate success? Those of you on TikTok, you need to come to Twitch to see the videos. Thanks. Love you so much.
And then come in close behind you. Oh, yeah. Then I'll show you my desire.
So this is a lot.
Inside you.
So this is being referred to as comedy. Unfortunately, that is what they are calling it. Is that what it is? I don't know. Take it back and delete it. Someone asked for my Venmo for the GoFundMe. It is a redacted _ parking lot. So I'll hold it up for you. It might be backwards. Oh no, it's not. There you go. Redacted _ parking lot. So he would have been so popular on 2009 YouTube if he added Shane Dawson. I think, unfortunately, you are 100% correct about that. So we're off to a phenomenal start of this romantic love affair. Like I said, there's always signs. And 2009 is reportedly the first time he referenced Kim in his music. He produced a verse on the song Knock You Down, which seemed to be about Kim. You're always the cheerleader of my dreams. I'm not going to rap it. If anyone was hoping for that, I'm sorry. Seemed to only date the head of the football teams. Whoa, Reggie Bush! And I was the class clown that always kept you laughing. As we saw in the previous clip. Incredible sense of humor. We were never meant to be, baby, we just happened. You should leave your boyfriend now. I think it is about her. I'm going to be honest, you guys. And I will say I am making fun of Kanye West a lot, and he's done and said a lot of terrible things, but I don't think anyone can deny that that man has musical talent. So just to get that out of the way, because I know a lot of people will get mad that I'm talking negatively about him, but even if you like his musical talent, I think you can agree he's done a lot of not chill things, so there's a lot to discuss. So this is a picture of Kim, Kourtney, and Kanye in 2008. I don't love the way he's staring at her. Like, I'm gonna be honest, that was jumping out to me in this photograph right off the bat. The OG break up with your girlfriend, I'm bored. So true. So true. The whole pic is uncomfortable. Yeah, like, they're all looking in different directions. It's just, like, I'm just having a lot of feelings, I think. He's looking at her the way I look at a cheeseburger. He's looking at her like, it's a lot. It's a lot. So in 2010, he visited their store Dash on Kourtney and Kim Take New York. There he is. There he is. He made his first appearance on the Keeping Up with the Kardashian spinoff, like I said, in New York. He was shy on camera, but Kim spoke about how much she respected him and his style. Kanye and I have been good friends for a long time. He's someone that we definitely respect his fashion taste and his style, so we wanted him to come check out the store. This is when she was dating Chris Humphries. He's trying so hard not to stare at her tits. Oh, God. He's simping. He's simping. So apparently in 2011, he tried to convince her to not marry Chris Humphries. Whoa, 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 whoa. So Kanye was not on the guest list for the wedding, but he later revealed that he called her to try and dissuade her. I got a phone call because somebody decided they want to marry Chris Humphries. I got a phone because someone decided they wanted to marry Chris Humphries. I wasn't up to anything, and I looked on the internet, and there was Kim Kardashian. Why is her name always wrong? With some extremely tall person. I was like, I need to call her or something. He even began sending her photos of former basketball players that have not aged well. I started sending her pictures of certain basketball players that used to be cool and now wear their pants all the way up to here. Like, this is your future. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you Did this happen? I feel like this didn't happen. I feel like this never happened, actually. His efforts didn't convince her. She went ahead with the wedding, and she was only married to Chris Humphries for 72 days. So I'm going to have, like, the hottest of takes. And I think when you learn more about this, you'll understand my takes. So if you're against me, just bear with me. So I think that he made this up later and gaslit everyone into believing it. And I think that he made it up later as a way to, like, narcissistically control her. Because I think he did it as a way of, like, I've always been watching you. I've always been protecting you. See that mistake you made where you were so embarrassed in front of the whole world? If you had listened to me, that wouldn't have happened because I tried to warn you. Like, it's kind of giving, I feel like it never happened. Or if it did happen, he has just been trying to control her for that long. Like, either way, I don't think it happened. But if it did, I still think I'm right, is what I'm saying with that one. So, she married Chris Humphries. They got divorced. We all know this. Well, if you didn't, now you do. So, October 2011, they were first spotted together in Paris. After her quickie marriage to Chris Humphries, she flew to Paris to see Kanye's fashion show, and she said that's when she fell for him. Right before I got married to Chris Humphries, Kanye and I were just talking, and I just went in a different direction. I think I had to go through that to figure out what I wanted. After my breakup, I was really low and down, and he just said, come to Paris and see my fashion show. He jokes that he put up the whole fashion show to get a date with me, so I went there and I stayed with him. First date, you stayed with him? I'm not judging. I'm just noticing. No shade. I don't know if they slept in the same room. Again, no shade. I don't have more or less judgment if she didn't sleep in the same room with him. I think to have a man be like, here, stay with me on your first date is a lot, even if you have your own room. Maybe if you have your own room, it's fine. No, this is right after her and Chris broke up. But again, her and Chris were literally married for like 2 months and some change. Or like 2.5 months. So it's not that far between the phone call to hanging out with, if we're being honest. If the phone call happened. It's a red flag. Yeah, that's what I feel. It's like, in my house? Oh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Where was I? I thought, oh my god, why didn't I do this sooner? She regrets that marriage so much. Like, this is what real life is like. Love and fun and real support. So, April 2012, he admitted he loved her in a rap verse. And I'll admit, I fell in love with Kim. Around the same time, she had fell in love with him. And well, that's cool, baby girl, do your thing. Lucky I ain't had Jay drop him from the team. Whoa! Poetic. It's obviously a jab at Chris Humphries. Oh, he was a player on the Brooklyn Nets and Jay-Z was a part owner. That is very clever. I don't know how to rate music, so that's impressive to me. Courtney later confirmed that Kim was seeing the rapper on an episode of the show. She added that she wasn't sure if they were serious because they'd been friends with years. I mean, just because I'm seen with someone, does that automatically mean that's my boyfriend? Yes. I'm glad we're all on the same page. They were spotted in public in New York for the first time together in April 2012. Putting this on Do Not Disturb. Good freaking night. And Khloe Kardashian hinted that they were together on the Ellen DeGeneres show and said that she thinks they're cute together. Ellen DeGeneres is fucking crazy. I did a stream about Ellen, and then recently I listened to Celebrity Memoir Book Club. They read Ellen's book, and everything is just confirmed for me that Ellen is literally crazy, and I can't even get into that right now. Ellen did not age well from, like, a historical perspective. I don't even mean, like, looks. I literally mean, like, historically. So, she's going on tour? Why? To do what? Dance? Is she dancing with JoJo Siwa? What the fuck is Ellen doing on tour? The sleepover isn't the problem for me. It's the public statement about it. Ellen jump scare. She's a comedian. Oh, she's doing it to do comedy? All right. Okay. Get back to your roots, queen. Kanye attended several Kardashian family events in May of 2012, including Kourtney's baby shower. In June, Kim put a label on their relationship, calling herself a proud girlfriend on Twitter. Wow. I love this photo of them because he looks so happy. I love it. Love it. So, August 2012, Kanye took over Kim's closet on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which did not sit well with many fans. She said, Kanye's definitely inspired me to be a little bit more of an individual. I just think my style is just evolving and changing, and I think it should be because that's what life is about. People were turned off by the makeover and found it controlling. Kim later admitted that she cried when Kanye's stylist tossed a pair of shoes that she loved, or insisted on tossing. I don't know if they actually got tossed. And I'm sorry for the YouTubers, this is gonna get eaten alive. How dare they get rid of the pump stiletto furry boot? Have some respect. It's an immediate no for me. It's an immediate no. I misspelled therapy. Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So December 2012, they confirmed they are expecting their first baby together. Again, all my judgment here... Did I have a meme about this? Yes, I did. Thank God. Whenever I have Celsius, I always make a lot of memes. All of my judgment here is not like, oh, you got pregnant too fast. It's that I think he got her pregnant because he wanted to, like, own her. Because we see, like, he had been kind of eyeing her for a while. And I think he was like, oh, if we have a baby, like, then she'll really be mine for life. And that's really, truly what I believe in my spirit of spirit. So I'm not like, oh, you were living in sin, you were having premarital sex. I don't care about that. And I don't think this is the case for every couple that has a kid really fast. But I do think that this was the case here. He baby trapped her. No, like, he literally baby trapped her is how I feel. North is only 11, right? Like, we've lived so many lives. It's been so long, but also so short. You know what I'm saying? So he also announced that she was pregnant during a New Year's Eve performance in Atlantic City, and he wasn't on stage with her. And this is another example of, I feel like he did this to be controlling, because then later she confirmed it on a blog post. She said, it's true, we're expecting a baby. We feel so blessed and lucky and wish that in addition to both our families, his mom and my dad could be here to celebrate this time with us. And like... I don't like that, because I feel like this was not her decision to announce it. I feel like he announced it without her, which really does not sit right with me at all. And I feel like Kardashians, when they announce their kids, they don't do it on a random blog post after one of them by themselves announces it at an event. Like, that's not how they do things. It's just not. Even back then, it's not how they do things. Like, Kris Jenner has exploited moments for the media many, many, many times, and I just don't believe that they did not have more specific plans for this. And I feel like he was just like, oh, I just want to announce it right now, which is just like a lot. Yeah, we are going to talk about the abortion thing. It'll come up later because he said it like years later, so we'll talk about it when he says it, and it's literally crazy. Yes, during his campaign, I think. No, this was in 2013.
I want y'all to do me a favor. If you love someone tonight, hold on real tight.
Get into it.
Somebody tonight, hold on real tight, real tight. If you love someone tonight,
I want to, like, not get in trouble for playing music that's copyrighted. I should have marked where the announcement is. I might be giving up on this. He said it at some point in this. I give up. There's more interesting things. He announced it on stage randomly by himself. That's what you need to know. So, February 2013, Kim said that Kanye made her want to be more private about her life. Again, I find it ironic that he's announcing you all's baby alone on stage in front of tons of people, but then you're also saying that he wants you to be more private. That's giving he wants to be in control of the information that gets out. Kim Cole told Du Jour, is that a magazine? I don't know. That being with the artist has made her want to keep certain parts of her life out of the spotlight. My boyfriend has taught me a lot about privacy. I'm ready to be a little less open about some things like my relationships. I'm realizing everyone doesn't need to know everything. I'm shifting my priorities. She also opened up about her pregnancy. I used to just always say I can't wait to get pregnant because I'll just eat whatever I want, but it's completely different. I'm like, okay, I want to eat as healthy as possible. Though lately I've been watching shows like I'm Pregnant and Addicted to Meth. That's a lot. I cannot believe that was on TV. And it definitely made me feel better if I'm wanting one sip of Diet Coke or, too much sugar. So she's going through things, whatever. And I really don't like the thing about privacy because I feel like it's showing that he's isolating her from people around her and she's becoming more attached to him. You know what I mean? And I might just be projecting. I might be projecting, but this is literally, and when I decided to make this stream, this angle was not my intention at all, but when I started reading, it is immediately what I saw. And these are from articles that are not new. It's not like new articles are painting him out to be controlling. This was from a People magazine article from 2013. And that just, I was like, okay, interesting, very interesting. And I didn't have to cherry pick information. It was very readily available. I like the analysis of those statements. I know she had a light bulb moment in therapy, right? Privacy as if he didn't announce her pregnancy on stage. I see you. Hindsight's 2020. They keep getting away with it. They keep getting away with it. So April 2013, her divorce with Chris Humphries is finalized. They had filed way earlier, but it took a while, I guess. I don't know why the fuck it took so long. Kardashian admitted to feeling stressed that Humphries was pushing for an annulment rather than just signing the divorce papers. So I guess that's why it took a while. She was worried that they might be legally married when she had her first child. They were able to finalize their divorce, but it took a super long time, but they did it before she had the baby. So yay. Then her and Kanye go to the Met Gala as a couple. And this is when she really got roasted for this address. If she really wants privacy, it makes it so much more painful that he announced it, right? Because I feel like that's what I like my audience for, because y'all will do this with me, where we can analyze something emotionally and see multiple possibilities, but even the multiple possibilities, we're okay, TikTok's always saying I can't go live and I'm talking about things I shouldn't talk about. Let me live. Thank you. So anyway, we can analyze multiple things and see multiple motivations and scenarios and still be and I still don't like you and you're in the wrong. Yep, all of them are bad. The grandma's carpet dress. Sorry, Kim. Yeah, that's pretty rough. So the couple made their appearance. Kim came as Kanye's guest when she was 8 months pregnant. He was performing. She said, I was not actually invited. I was Kanye's +1. Sorry. And that was okay with me because I never really dreamed I would be at the Met Ball. I know no one really probably wanted me there at the time. I have heard that Anna Wintour hates her. I did hear that, but now she goes all the time, so I don't know. The reality star wore the floral print Givenchy gown and was met with a storm of critics. She said, I was crying the whole way home because I just could not believe it. I think Robin Williams even tweeted and said I looked like Mrs. Doubtfire. Was that dress horrific? Absolutely. Someone did her dirty. I don't know if it was a stylist. I don't know if it was Kanye. That dress did not look good. That is true. What's also true is that y'all are rude as fuck for making fun of the appearance of a woman that was 8 months pregnant at the Met Gala. That is so nasty and so rude that we as a society, I probably tweeted about it in 2013, probably, that we did that to a pregnant woman because if you're huge and pregnant and you have to go to the Met Gala, I feel like you have really limited clothing options. That's not exactly an easy event to dress for. So, yeah. People were so vile to her on Twitter. I know, I was gonna read tweets, but none of them were that funny and all of them were mean. So I just skipped it. So May 2013, Kim had a baby shower and Kanye responded to cheating rumors. In May, Kim had a floral baby shower with her friends and family. The month was not without drama, though. A Canadian woman named Layla reported that she had sex with Kanye twice, once when Kim was pregnant, but the rapper denied it. And a statement that his representatives gave to TMZ was, "This most recent attack on Kanye West and his family is totally without merit. It's a blatant attempt by a misguided individual who's clearly seeking publicity, and in another series of malicious stories dumped by non-credible news sources." So there's a rumor he cheated, but we don't know. This is the TMZ article where he was saying that he did not cheat. And then she gave an interview saying that she met him at one of his concerts 3 months after he and Kim started dating. And she said that Kanye has had his security pick her out of the crowd and they went for drinks later. And she said that they had sex later. And there's that source that I already read. So I don't know if that's true. But then June 2013, they welcomed their daughter Northwest. So this is what I was saying. We're talking about the kids, but like in reference to their marriage, not just in reference to the world at large. They buried this. They did. They did. I don't think I heard that. Tumultuous. So everyone was making fun of the name. I don't love the name. I am pretty judgmental when it comes to baby names, and I don't love this one. But everyone that was saying, they're like, how are you ever going to put Northwest on a job application? Do you think Kim Kardashian's child is ever going to fill out a job application? So who cares? Who cares? And they were going to nickname her Nori. And yeah, I'm not going to read the tweets, but everyone was talking shit. It's a kid. Whatever, man. Not a name I would have picked, but whatever. So then October 2013... couple months after North is born, Kanye proposes to Kim at the AT&T Stadium in San Francisco.
Inside Kimye's engagement, we've got the proposal video. Like I told you earlier this week, Kanye West proposed to Kim Kardashian in San Francisco, and Yeezy went all out. I'm talking fireworks, an orchestra, a 15-carat diamond ring, and he rented out AT&T Park. No big deal. Well, TMZ has obtained footage of Kanye dropping down to one knee to pop the question. Take a look.
I think it might have been on her birthday.
Pretty cute, right? E! News also has footage of the fairy tale proposal. Chloe's reaction is just perfect.
Come on,
I wonder if they knew. Look at Chris. Look at Chris.
Now, as for when Kim and Kanye...
Okay, we get the point. He proposed. Yay! Then, November of 2013, Kim was featured in the Bound 2 music video. I distinctly remember when this came out around Thanksgiving and everyone was talking about it. Didn't she say she wanted privacy? Exactly. There's also a conspiracy theory that celebs give the press fake names for their babies. I have heard that and I don't not believe it, you know? Can I just say, this is like exactly what Ken from the Barbie movie would want in a music video. So far. I like it. So this was like them really, her hair blows the wrong way. Like, listen, maybe it's art. Maybe it's art. Maybe it is art. So that is like a big career moment for them, I guess. And then March 2014, they were the first biracial couple to be featured on Vogue. Also, this article said biracial couple. Is that the right terminology? I thought it was like an interracial couple, but I don't really know. But all I know is it should have been me. Should have been me, but I guess 2014 literally was 10 years ago. That's also crazy that there wasn't like an interrace couple on Vogue magazine until 2014. That is insane. And then May 2014, they got married in Italy. Italy, baby. So they weren't together for like a super long time before they got married, but they were together for a little minute now, and they did have a child together by this point. So they hosted a weekend full of events around Europe for their wedding. Would love to see the climate impact of their wedding. The celebration began in Paris, where she had a bachelorette party, and then they had a luncheon at a chateau, and then they did a rehearsal dinner at Versailles, and then they flew to Florence for the 200-person ceremony. And they had flowers and all the stuff, and yeah, whatever. So here is some news coverage of their wedding.
Topping the heat index this morning, the wedding of the year, the other wedding of the year.
Yeah, Ginger's is
I know,
the
we're on
right.
record.
the other,
We're on
yeah,
record.
that's the
Reality
other.
star Kim Kardashian tying the knot with superstar Kanye West over the weekend in Italy in spectacular fashion. And the spectacular Sarah Haynes, just back from the wedding.
Of course, I was definitely there. Not. We've seen Kim
I love daytime talk television. So unserious.
Kardashian walk down the aisle once or twice before, but that didn't keep the reality star from pulling out all the stops for her nearly 200 guests at her European wedding to rapper Kanye West.
Pop culture queen Kim Kardashian making her way down the aisle
I might
in
skip
Givenchy
this.
in this exclusive photo obtained by People magazine.
Once or
The
twice
long-sleeved
before is
lace
brutal.
frock reminiscent of a much different type of royal.
Courtney
A
stole her
nervous
wedding
Kanye
country.
West, clad in Givenchy as well, waiting for his bride on an Italian hillside, standing in front of a 20-foot wall of flowers.
Nice.
Kim was very emotional when she walked down the aisle, and it was actually because Andrea Bocelli sang. She had no idea he was going to sing her down the aisle.
But the bride wasn't alone in wearing white.
Toxic or not,
Bridesmaids
they were the
Courtney
it
and
couple.
Chloe
They
and
really
Kylie
were.
all sharing.
That's originally why I picked them, is I was like, they were such the it couple, what happened? And then when I looked into the details of what happened, I was like, oh no, I already made the graphics and posted them. Also, this middle photo, I don't know who that is to the right of Kylie Jenner, but they look like Lisa Barlow.
The unconventional wedding shade.
Is that
The couple's
Kylie? I don't know.
11-month-old daughter North donning the hue in a custom-made frock, sitting front row in the arms of Grandma Kris Jenner. The weekend's festivities kicking off on Thursday in Paris with a bachelorette party for Kim. A rehearsal dinner Friday fit for pop royalty at the Palace of Versailles.
This is
And Saturday
insane.
morning, guests were surprised and flown to Florence to see the pair tie the knot. Partygoers like Common, Jaden Smith, Rachel Roy, and Lala Anthony enjoying an
Is it bad that I don't know all of those
An
people?
Italian feast of pasta, fish, and steak, rosé and gold champagne. Kim changing into her
Does Chris let them call her grandma? She goes by Lovey.
second dress of the night, a short beaded
Yeah,
knot.
we get the point. They got married. I had photos. I don't know why they disappeared. You can see it says 8. There were 8. No, I don't know what's going on. Nearpod's kind of being a hater. Y'all see that, right? Whatever. There's some of their wedding photos. You saw some from the other thing. Let me try and do that one more time. There's another one. There's that one. I don't know what's going on with Nearpod tonight. So, this later, they have some Twitter drama with Amber Rose. When did they get married? May 2014. So I guess they had like a newlywed year-long moment. And then February 2015, Kanye disrespected Amber Rose by saying he needed 30 showers after being with her. This was in a radio interview. He said, if Kim had dated me when I first wanted to be with her, there wouldn't have been an Amber Rose. It's very hard for a woman to want to be with someone who's been with Amber Rose. I had to take 30 showers before I got with Kim. And Amber Rose responded on Twitter. Amber Rose also makes music, I believe. And she said, wait, 30 showers? But Kim let Ray J, never mind. I'll let you read that other part. And then she also said, at Kanye West, I'll leave that up to the Kardashians to humiliate you when they're done with you. So she really came for him. She later apologized to the Kardashians, but not to Kanye, which I find hilarious. And her apology a couple years later to the Kardashians seemed very genuine. She said, I had no reason to say anything to you. I deeply apologize. There was no reason for me to get you involved in that. Like, it seemed like a good apology. She was with Wiz Khalifa. She's a Trumper now. Oh, I didn't know that. So they had that nice little Twitter beef. And then a year later, she tweeted, Kanye West, are you mad I'm not around to play in your anymore? Hashtag, I'll let you read the screen. So after she announced that to the world, he denied it, naturally. It was trending. People were like really talking about it. It was a lot. So he had this very public beef with another woman while he was married, which I think is very interesting. Ignoring the misogyny, isn't 30 showers a normal month? Yeah, I agree. And then also, when this Twitter beef started, again, the Twitter beef was going on 2015 and 2016. In May of 2015, they announced they were expecting a second baby together. A short time after their 1-year wedding anniversary, Kim gave birth to Saint West, and then she posted a picture of the baby on Instagram. Their, like, first baby photo ops are always like very casual and like a luxurious blanket way. So this article came out in 2019, but it seemed relevant because she's talking about the 2 kids that we just mentioned. So she gave birth to her 2 eldest kids, but she had severe complications, which is why she used surrogates later. She said she suffered from placenta. So this is where I was saying, like, trigger warning if this is a lot for you. I'm not going to get too much in detail, and I'm not a doctor. Sorry, I keep burping. I just like chugged a whole lemonade. So where was I? She suffered from placenta accreta while delivering North. This occurs when the organ doesn't come out upon delivery and it's attached to like the inside of you, which can cause severe bleeding later and can cause infertility later as well. So it's like pretty bad. From what I've seen, I like Googled it. It's not like a death sentence, but if you were, it was like the olden times, or you were like not at a hospital, it kind of would be a death sentence. It's like pretty intense and pretty bad, but like medically we know how to handle it, is what I'm trying to say. And she said, I had to have 5 different operations within 1.5 years to fix the damage that all of that did on the inside. So like I was saying, it is very intense and also not as uncommon as you would think, which is crazy because I feel like so many insane things in pregnancy are super common. And then in 2015, months before giving birth to Saint, she told a magazine she had a couple little operations to fix it, adding that she had created a hole in her uterus. And she suffered the same thing again when giving birth to her second son. She thought it was going to be more difficult to conceive, so after her daughter was born, she froze eggs and used her own eggs, but then because she had the issue with the placenta thing in both pregnancies, she also had preeclampsia in both pregnancies, which is high blood pressure, which can lead to kidney failure. Kind of same thing, but less intense. Very scary. If you are not at a hospital, you could easily die, but if you are at a hospital, like this does happen to a fair number of people. And the only way to get rid of it is to deliver the baby, so she had to go into emergency labor early with, I believe, both of her kids. So yeah, she just had like a very high risk and difficult pregnancies. And that's why they used surrogates for their next 2 kids. So very like real things that she faced. And again, like, normally I don't like to talk about people's medical stuff and their personal stuff, but like she literally did all of this on television, so I'm assuming she's okay with us talking about it. And I really think it's crazy how like no matter how rich you are, you're still like so at risk and vulnerable if you have a baby, which is just like the spookiest thing that I really hate about the world. So April 2016, she cleared the air after there were claims that she was having marital issues. There were reports surfacing that they had hit a rough patch, and she said, I've definitely had my fair share of like dramatic relationships. Honestly, this is the most calm. It's like, nope, we're still together. We're happy. There's just really nothing going on. So as you can see, I'm moving pretty fast through these years. It seems like the vibes were like pretty decent during this time from what I've seen. They're mainly just having kids. It's so dangerous. She really tried to carry. Hey chat, let's remember that being pro-choice means respecting women's decisions regarding all reproductive choices. Oh, I wasn't even listening to the chat right now. I hope everyone's being nice. Oh, I see what people are saying. We'll talk. We'll get to her surrogate stuff later on the timeline. So, because I know a lot of people have a lot of feelings about it. So Kim supported Kanye when he had a feud with Taylor Swift in 2016. From the time that Kanye interrupted her at the VMAs in 2009, she's always kind of had beef with him and he's always kind of had beef with her. When he released his song Famous with the lines, I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex, why I made that bitch famous. Taylor Swift was outraged. He claimed that she had given him permission and then she denied it. Kim teased that she had a recording of the conversation during an interview with GQ. A couple weeks later, she referenced the recording on the show and then released a Snapchat story featuring videos of that conversation. Swift later explained that she took issues with the line "made that bitch famous," and Kanye did not mention that specific line. So he had asked, like, hey, can I put you in this song? And she was like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. But he didn't tell her that line was in there. So in March 2020, their full conversation was anonymously leaked on YouTube, revealing that the fearless singer Taylor Swift never gave him permission to call her a bitch. Kim stood by her husband the whole time, saying that the new tape doesn't change the narrative. And I'm sure there's more to this story. I know this was like a big thing on social media, but I just kind of grabbed like a summary of it. We could speak on this at depth or at nauseum about everything that's happened between Kanye and Taylor Swift. Also wanted to say, my dad and Kanye have like a big one-sided beef that my dad hates Kanye West because Kanye West interrupted Taylor Swift at the VMAs in 2009. Like my dad will never forgive him for that. Like if you bring up Kanye West, my dad is like, I think that was so rude how he interrupted her when she was accepting her award. I think it's just really funny that they have that one-sided beef. So Kim gets robbed in Paris. He leaves his show to check on her. Again, not going to talk about the robbery too much. There's so many tangents we could go on. I'm sure you're picking up. I'm trying to stick to the script. So he leaves his show to check on her after she gets robbed. He was performing in New York. He abruptly stopped the show and said that it was because of a family emergency, and it was later reported that Kim had been held at gunpoint. She was robbed of a diamond ring that was worth almost $5 million, 2 diamond Cartier bracelets, a necklace, diamond earrings, a Rolex, and some other reports. Kim stopped doing appearances and stayed off social media for a while. Again, we could talk about this for hours. From what I've seen and read, she probably has PTSD. She genuinely thought she was going to die. She was being held at gunpoint. It was like a whole thing, like in her hotel. Like it seems like this was very real and very traumatic for her. And then November 2016, just a month later, Kanye is reportedly hospitalized for exhaustion and Kim flew to the hospital. I feel so sorry for Kim. She never deserved that. That's how I feel like Kim Kardashian has done a lot of things that I don't love, but I don't think she deserves a lot of what has happened to her. And a lot of crazy stuff has happened to her. When Obama called Kanye a jackass for interrupting Taylor at the VMAs. I remember being in 4th grade and talking about the award thing with my friends. I've always loved pop culture. Her description about thinking she was going to die was so chilling. Yeah, it's a lot. In her interview with David Letterman, she talks about it. It was very emotional and scary for her. I guess that caused a shift with celebs and jewelry. They wear fake diamonds now. Interesting. Huh. To be rich enough to know about these things. So he was hospitalized for exhaustion shortly after canceling his tour. Several days prior, he went on a rant about politics during his show in Sacramento and then abruptly left. And a source told Us Weekly that the robbery put a strain on their marriage, though the reality star promptly flew home to be by her husband's side. I mean, I think that would put a strain on your marriage to have one person in PTSD and the other person not. I could see where they're just like, they don't really know how to handle that. And I think, debatably, Kanye West is the worst husband possible if you have PTSD. Like, I just don't see Kanye being like, no, like, I'm here for you. Like, I don't see him giving patience. Like, that's not the energy that's really radiating for him. Like, I don't see him being like, I understand that you want to put these insane locks on our bedroom door, and I understand that you wake up screaming every 15 minutes. I'm going to stick with you through this. I just don't see that from him. I gotta be honest, I didn't expect to feel so hard on Kim's side tonight. I know, I really did not go into this expecting to give this narrative, but it's just what I discovered. I'm sure he was thinking, but when does it get to be about me again? Kanye was released from the hospital about a week later, and sources told People magazine that the health crisis had taken a toll on their relationships. They've had a few stressful months, but Kim is happy that he's getting help. And this is her learning about his downward spiral during this time.
What's wrong? Don't scare me, please. What's going on?
She's on the phone with Kanye's friend.
Like, I can't. I get a call from one of Kanye's friends, and
He was on tour. I'm not 100% sure where he was at this point. They said he was like freaking out in Sacramento the week before.
my heart drops. But what is he like? This is like serious. They're not telling me anything, and I am so scared, and I don't know what to do.
Courtney gives me
Oh my God,
hater
I just got
vibes
to
here.
New York.
Yeah, she looks so sad even before the call because this is like a month after she got robbed. She still has like really bad PTSD.
I'm just like, okay, bye. He's like crying on the phone to me, and he just like wouldn't say what's wrong, and I'm like, tell me what's wrong. I just like don't know what to do.
She was stressed during this marriage. So that's a lot. And then they have more babies via surrogate almost immediately after this, which this part I find very interesting. So again, November 2016, PTSD, going in the hospital for exhaustion, all of that. Less than a year later, 7 months later, they announced that they have already hired a surrogate. So that means they started the process earlier. That's what's just interesting to me. And I know a lot of people in the chat were like, women get to make their own reproductive choices no matter what they are. I do completely agree with that. I do also think that in extremely wealthy circles, having a high number of children is a display of wealth. And again, we are from the outside looking in, but these people did choose to live in the public eye. I personally would not choose to have a child after dealing with some mental health things on both parties at that magnitude. And especially to go out of your way to hire a surrogate. Hiring a surrogate is an extremely intentional choice. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, getting pregnant can happen to anybody. But hiring a surrogate, you don't do that on accident. So to go through this very public mental health crisis and then be like, yeah, I still want a kid, kind of shows me your motivation to have that child is not to show up for that child. It's to have that child show up in your life, if you kind of get what I'm saying. So like, I don't want to like be like, you shouldn't have kids, because I don't think it's right to tell someone what to do with their body or pay someone else to do with their body. But yeah, that's just it kind of rubbed me the wrong way from that perspective. So she often has spoken about her desire to grow her family, but had never given specifics, blah, blah, blah. That was in June 2017. They hired a surrogate for the third, and then January 2018. So again, the surrogate was already pregnant when they announced that. They had their third child, second daughter, Chicago, via the surrogate. And during a visit to the Ellen show, why does Ellen keep coming up? During a visit to the Ellen DeGeneres show, Kim confirmed that her child's name is a nod to where Kanye grew up, because Kanye's from Chicago. So that's why they named their kid Chicago. So this all aired later, but it's from the show.
Kanye and I have always talked about having more kids, but
I'm going to put it on faster.
Gone through so much with really bad deliveries that the doctors don't feel like it's safe for me to carry my own baby.
You had toxemia, you had a retained placenta, very traumatic.
The doctor is like, for sure now, you should not carry another baby. Kanye and I are just gonna look into other options and see what we're comfortable with. But getting a surrogate and finding someone that you really trust really is so much more difficult of a situation than you could really imagine. You have to make sure that their lifestyle is healthy, and they'd have to go through psychological testing. And it was maybe
Have you two gone through psychological testing? That's what I want to know. Because everyone's talking about psychological testing for the surrogate. Do the parents have to go through psychological testing? I feel it's only fair. I think everyone involved should get a psychological test, because clearly we have the money for it. It can't hurt. Why not? Why the hell not?
a year before we actually finalized our current situation, but I think everything happens for a reason because the surrogate that I really love got approved, and she's such a nice person. Like, she's so easy to talk to, and she's the perfect fit for us. But we have to decide quickly, are we really going to go through with this, or are we going to wait until we feel more prepared? Telling my family about
What's wrong with waiting? That's what I'm wondering, because like, you're using a surrogate. Like, if it was you and you were like, oh, my health, my job, I don't know what's the right time, that would make sense. But like, it's a surrogate. So like you just be like, give me another year. Like, I don't see. I feel like when you use a surrogate, it becomes like a little less intrusive in your life in some ways. And so I'm just a little confused about that.
this news. I mean, it is that exciting feeling like you're pregnant. It's the exact same feeling, especially right at the beginning.
Oh, Kim, I'm so happy for you. No, it's just, to be able to do that is really great. I'm really happy for you.
So crazy, right? You know, it's really exciting, but
Oh,
it's
it
also
could
like,
be a
oh my God, this is
competition
happening.
between the girls to see who had more kids.
We're gonna have a baby number 7.
I know, isn't that crazy? Mom's gonna have like 30 grandkids.
Oh my God. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I mean, you know what? It's kind of weird when it's not you.
Yeah, like it's just weird.
So I'm like, I don't know whether to just start eating donuts and celebrate like I would,
Is
like
there
old
anything
times,
else in this I wanna
or
watch?
just go to the gym.
I think you could do both.
Kanye and I were like, what do? We do nothing for 9 months.
Fast forward.
Obviously, you talked to Kanye about it. Have they identified who the surrogate is? Third baby due in January. I honestly am absolutely fuming that
it
there's
got
all these
leaked to the
articles coming
media.
out about our surrogate. People started to write me asking if it was true, and I just said, you know, we didn't really want to talk about it right now, and whenever we're ready, we will. I have signed up for this life, and I know how to handle it, but someone like her does not, and I would never want to put her in that situation.
All right, we get the point. She is just a surrogate. And then here's her talking on a talk. She said she wanted to have lots of kids because she wanted her kids to be close siblings like her family. One to anonymously carry your baby. Like, I know no one asked my opinion, but I just feel like maybe as a society we need to like, oh, like what's going on with that? Like, that feels like it could open some doors.
Just felt like
I wonder what Kim Kardashian thinks of us. We're the opposite of whatever a super fan. I don't know. I put so many clips in here. How many more do we have? Okay, we only have one more. So this is her November 2017 opening up about her kids' reactions.
Tell me a little bit about this day that we are crashing.
I am so excited to be shooting a WWD cover. I think it's the authority in be shooting today.
E.T. catching up with Kim K behind the scenes of her women's wear daily cover shoot, talking her new fragrance, her partnership with the app Screen Shop, and family.
Not only is business growing, family is growing too. So
Yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
And what has been the adjustment sort of going through this with a surrogate this time?
You know, it's really different. Anyone that says
One thing that I'm also just noticing, but I want to point out, is that Kanye's not in any of these interviews. Literally, we have not seen him at all in any of these interviews talking about their child. Interesting.
or thinks it's just the easy way out is completely wrong.
Yeah.
I think it's so much harder to go through it this way because you're not really in control, and you know, obviously you pick someone that you completely trust and that
Yeah,
you have
Kanye
a really
hates the
good bond
media.
and relationship with, but it's still knowing that I was able to carry my first 2 babies and not, you know, my baby now, that is hard for me. So it's definitely a harder experience than I anticipated just in the control area.
Yeah, so we get the point. He did almost no press with her unless he had total creative control. So I just want to say I have such feelings about surrogacy, which I've kind of alluded to, but I also just think like the capitalization of women's bodies is where it starts to not sit right with me. And then in some clips where you see that they're just like so disconnected, and I don't know, I think pregnancy is so hard on your body, and I just feel like surrogacy needs to be done in a way that's like very ethical, and I think that that is hard to do, and I think that it can just so easily be exploitative. I'm not saying it should be banned or anything like that. People can do whatever the fuck they want to do, but I just think it's like it can be a slippery slope, and I think it could get to a place that's scary. Like if you really let your brain go there about like what does that mean that being pregnant is a job, like let your brain go there, and it's kind of spooky. I wish they could unionize or something. Yeah, like that's what I mean. I'm not even against it. I just think it's tricky. I think it's very, 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 very tricky. So then 2018, this is pretty shortly after their kids are born. When was this other one? Let me get a date here. So kids were born, January 2018 is when their third child was born. And then May of 2018, Kanye West said that slavery was a choice. This is really where we start to see him getting into very hot water in the media for saying and doing certain things. So like trigger warning, but I already kind of said it.
Rapper Kanye West is no stranger to controversy, but his latest comment on the topic of slavery may be causing the biggest furore yet. Stephanie Skandaris is on the story. So Stephanie,
but he
what
made
exactly
graduation.
did Kanye say?
Okay, Andrew, this whole thing came up in the middle of Kanye West's interview with the TMZ show yesterday. He started talking about free thought, he talked about his politics, and then he made these
very controversial comments
about slavery. Want to get right to the video to show you? Have a look.
You hear about slavery for 400...
And yes, that is a good point, Quarter Life Crisis. I don't think he was living with them during this time. In a later clip we're going to watch, Kim basically says, like, they were never in the same state. He's traveling all the time. He was, like, not really a home person.
Years, for 400 years? That sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like... It's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks.
I feel like he's just saying as many of like words that you need to be careful saying at one time. Like, let's watch that back.
You hear about slavery for 400 years? For 400 years? That sounds like a choice. Like, you was there for 400 years and it's all of y'all? You know, like, it's like we're mentally in prison. I like the word prison because slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks. It's like slavery, Holocaust Jews, slavery is blacks.
Please stop talking. I feel like this is kind of Veep coded. Have any of you seen Veep?
Now, the backlash to that started immediately when TMZ staffer and podcaster Van Lathan stood up and confronted Kanye West. Have a look at that.
Oh, I forgot about this part.
The rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives.
Yeah.
We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said.
The face he's making, I'm sorry, but he looks like... You know when you catch a kid who, like, took candy and they're like, that's what he looks like right now.
Our people was a choice. Frankly, I'm disappointed, I'm appalled, and brother, I am unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something, to me, that's not real.
Now, since then,
Kanye
West has...
ate. Oh, he came for him in the best way.
Released a flurry of tweets. Here is just some of what he said. He said, "Of course I know that slaves did not get shackled and put on a boat by free will. My point is for us to have stayed in that position, even though the numbers were on our side, means we were mentally enslaved." He also said...
I feel like the more he's talking, the worse he is getting. If he took it to a point, if he's like, no, I meant that slavery wasn't just... physical chains, it was mental chains too. Like, I feel like maybe we could have gotten to like some kind of a point, but I feel like it's getting worse.
Said Andrew, his statement was an example of free thought, that it was just an idea, and that now he's being attacked for presenting new ideas.
And obviously people are just not responding well to the comments, and it's led to a firestorm of criticism on social media.
That's right. So first we have the fans, a lot of them saying they're disappointed. People are also mocking the comments with the hashtag "if slavery was a choice," that is trending. Then there are the other artists. Director Spike Lee wrote a long post on Instagram saying Kanye West needs to wake up. Part of what Spike Lee wrote is, our ancestors did not choose to be stolen from Mother Africa. Our ancestors did not choose to be ripped of our religion, language.
Okay, so the rest of it, they go through other celebrities saying he's wrong. I think all of us are clear here. We had whole streams about Civil War reconstruction. I think we're all clear about why this is wrong and fucked up that he said that. And he said he was worried that Kim would leave him after he said that. I think that is a very valid fear. I think that is a very, very valid fear. He addressed it in a song. He said, my wife called me screaming, saying we about to lose it all. I had to calm her down because she couldn't breathe. Told her she could leave me now, but she wouldn't leave. Kim, you could have. You could have. You didn't, but you could have. I want you to always know that. He later revealed that he was concerned. He said, there was a moment where I felt like after TMZ, maybe a week after that, I felt like the energy levels were low, and I called different family members and was asking, was Kim thinking about leaving me after TMZ? So that was a real conversation. It seems like it wasn't, though, because it seems like you just called her family members. So that's what I mean. It doesn't seem like they had a real marriage. And when I say they don't have a real marriage, I think that they think it's a real marriage and like they have children together. It's legally real. Like it is very much real. But I mean, it doesn't seem like they operated as a married couple. Like I feel like most married couples I know seem very like a unit. Like they take vacations together. They make big decisions together. And it doesn't seem like they ever operated in that way. And I feel like most people I know of like that's what you're, exactly what you're saying, Quick Tribute parking lot. They're not partners on a day-to-day. Like, they don't have a routine together. It seems like they're co-workers on a project of marriage is kind of the vibe that I'm getting. And then they welcome their fourth child via surrogate. So that's another thing. Like, I think it's interesting that when it appears that they are so geographically and emotionally like kind of divided and he's already having all this scandals that they're still continuously having children. And again, with the surrogacy thing, like it's just, I think using a surrogate makes it in some ways like a different dynamic and kind of like, I don't know, I think especially with him being far away, like he seems like he's very disconnected from this. Is what I'm kind of gathering. I don't know if it's just me, but Psalm just doesn't exist to me. Very Hillary and Bill of them. I can see the power struggle. Kanye was much more famous when they met, and then Kim surpassed him. Kanye on a group project, I can't imagine. I feel like she had more kids because she wanted them and decided she could do it without him. That's kind of what I'm getting. Like what I'm saying about them not making decisions together, it does not seem like he is a driving force of these children. And yeah, and I don't see like, why would you have another child with a man that's acting that way in public? Like clearly he's saying things that are not logical, not okay. Like clearly something's going on. So I don't know why you would continue to have children with him. It just does not make sense to me. I'm not even saying like, oh, she should have left him at this exact second. I get like, I've never been married and marriage is hard, but I just can't see why adding a fourth child is gonna bring any improvements to what seems like a very stressful situation, which really just doesn't add up for me. This is a video where they're actually talking about Chloe's surrogacy, but the way that Kim is talking about it is very telling.
The baby's
Baby Robbie?
Baby Rob?
Is the name Bob?
No, but he looks just like Rob. No.
You gotta go for Bob.
But a surrogate process, Kim knows it's really hard for me.
What does that mean?
She had a really hard time accepting the whole process.
Got it.
To mine, it's really the weirdest thing.
I do think that there is a difference. When the baby is in your belly, the baby actually feels your real heart. Think about it. It like touches your organ. Like it's
I wanted this last year and thought it was so odd.
From the inside like that, like your heart.
Now the kids can have teams.
And people can connect in different ways. People could not connect.
Do you feel less connected?
Mm-hmm.
That'll take a minute.
Yeah, people say that.
I mean, listen,
but
the
Kim
other was
said
10 months of
hers was
walking around.
like easy. This is not easy.
I definitely like buried my head in the sand during that pregnancy, that I didn't digest what was happening. And so I think when I went to the hospital, I really think that was the first time that really registered. And it has nothing to do with the baby. It's just, you're like, okay, we're having a baby. This is my son and I'm taking him home with me. And I definitely was in a state of shock, I think, from my entire experience in general. I felt really guilty that like this woman just had my baby and I take the baby and then I go to another room and you're sort of separated. Like
that is the part that I was like, okay, like, this woman just had my baby, and then I take the baby to a separate room. That was, like, kind of giving Handmaid's Tale to me. I don't know. Like, I've never had a baby, so I'm really not even an authority to speak on this. But I just think it's, like, that just didn't sit well with me.
I felt it's such a transactional experience.
I think Chloe has some awareness around that, it appears.
I wish someone was honest about surrogacy.
It's
and
mine
the
now.
difference of it, but it doesn't mean it's bad or good. It's still great. It's just very different.
I don't know. I liked the way that Chloe talked about that. So even though we're talking about Kim, I just kind of wanted to mention it because it seemed like she was kind of viewing it that way. And so here's Kim with all 4 of her kids. And I feel like it's just very interesting display of wealth that she's like, yeah, I had 2 kids via surrogacy. I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to bring these children into the world. And it's just like, it's a lot to me. It's a lot. It is a lot. Me, an adoptee, not in shock. Seems on the back burner, unprepared. Yeah, it's just a lot. So moving on, things get a little, like, off. I feel like Chloe's having a normal reaction to it. I do too. And the way Kim, I tried to find this one clip of Kim that I saw on TikTok a while ago. Kim was like, yeah, it's great. Like, they just hand you the baby and you go. It's awesome. And hers seemed much more like, yeah, why would that be weird? Where Chloe seemed like she was like, whoa, this feels really transactional and I feel weird about this. You know, like, every time Kim was talking about what she disliked about it, it seemed like it was from, like, her perspective of herself, of like, oh, I don't feel it, I don't this, like, what she was missing out on. And it seemed like when Chloe was talking about it, she was talking about, like, the whole situation. She just seemed determined to have more kids, even through her marriage issues, which gives me pause. I agree. That's the best way to describe it, is, like, you're clearly having issues, but, like, you're continuously pushing to have more children, which I find really interesting. So anyway, this is September 2019, so shortly later. This is when Kanye starts his Sunday service. He had a new album called Jesus is King. He had done, like, music and fashion and a bunch of stuff and, like, clothing throughout these last couple years. I didn't really get into that the same way I did not get into Kim K's beauty lines. I'm just talking about, like, their marriage, not their business ventures. It was a logical extension of his embrace of the Christian faith. After his highly divisive allegiance with Donald Trump, President Donald Trump handed him an alienated fan base with new alt-right supporters. He tamped down his political persona significantly in 2019. In its place came a weekly gathering known as Sunday Service. He has never shied away from bringing religion into his art, but this is a combination of music, fashion, and Jesus Christ. It is handcrafted for the social media age, and the location changes every week. It has been held on Kanye's property in Calabasas and other places as well. I should have included where him and Trump were hanging out. I forgot about that. There's literally, I have 122 slides and there's so much I didn't include. So the services are invite only and attendees have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. They also had them in other areas that were open to the public. There is a dress code for the choir and the attendees, and GQ writes that the show's producer gives the choir a Yeezy designed outfit a few days before the service. And he described the inspiration on David Letterman. It's just an idea we had to open our hearts to make music that we felt was pure and positive as possible, and just do it an hour every Sunday and have something where people can just come together and feel good with their families. So here's some videos and stuff of the Sunday service. I hope these links work. Perfect. No, that's so awesome. Let me try again. I hope at least one of them works. Okay, there we go. Oh, we'll talk about the school. Sunday service Coachella was unmatched. You just had to be there. I feel like Trump and Kanye talk at each other and both enjoyed that. Oh, God. Here's another one. Let me see if this link works. I have a lot of these. Wow. I love live music, so I will grant them that. Whose kids are these? Well, whose children are those? Sunday morning was a movie, bro. Okay. For sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. We got a Twitter one. Great.
The light inside us, shining. Jesus is the light inside us, more precious than rubies and diamonds. When you see God's people shining, shining.
I'm not saying it doesn't look fun. I'm just saying I'm a little bit confused. This is the one. He's so talented. So that's Sunday service. I just wanted to like kind of give you a vibe to this. And then Kim learns that Kanye is moving to Chicago via a viral video in April 2019. This is exactly what I'm saying when I feel like they do not operate as a married couple.
Move the chin down a little bit.
So I'm working, and a friend of mine texted me and was like, oh, you're moving to Chicago? And I was like, no, Kanye's just spending time there. And someone else texted to me with the link.
I gotta let y'all know that I'm moving back to Chicago. I'll never leave it again.
Imagine that being your husband. Imagine that being your literal husband. The man you're legally married to. The father of your 4 children. Okay. You didn't want to shoot me a text or anything?
Oh my God. That is so insane that you didn't tell me. I know Kanye really loves being in Chicago, but I had no idea that he wants to move there until I hear about it on social media. I'm a little bit annoyed. We have to talk about this.
Do you guys have a full photo shoot?
Yeah, I'm on set right now.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kill your vibe.
I have to get there in person and see face to face what's really going on.
Okay.
Social
wait.
media is fun to put up stuff and share
He's
with
here.
The thing that set me off was, okay, that should have been a conversation before I see on the internet you're moving to Chicago. I find out
No, I told you that before. We had that conversation. We already
The way his leg is up is so unserious.
a serious conversation.
It was any conversation I have is serious. I don't joke. I don't play.
You said we were going to move into your mom's house with all of our kids
Yeah, so you
in a
can
1
find-
bedroom, and I thought, oh, we'll stay there for like 2 weeks, and we could do that and live in the house. And so I go, oh, okay.
I'm sure I have more than one home in Chicago. We'll have more than one home in Chicago.
Well, I didn't know that. I didn't think that was serious. I get that Kanye is really excited about Chicago. He just needs a change of scene. I totally respect that.
I don't play.
I can't really imagine moving to Chicago. I did not think that
You
that
don't
was
be
serious.
taking me seriously.
So my bad for not taking you seriously.
We moving to Chicago.
The way that he turned it around and made it her fault. My bad for not taking you seriously. Man.
That's the vibe, babe. It feels good.
I think I'm gonna kind of ride it out and see it through, because with him, I just always
Not
want
Zillow.
to make sure.
I feel like
that
he's
this
on
is what he
Zillow
wants
right
to
now.
do. Then we can make a real informed decision. We're gonna miss our
Oh,
flight.
the jacuzzi's in here.
flight is private.
They said we couldn't leave past a certain time if they have another flight.
I want to go to one of Ye's concerts.
Well, they're gonna all be.
Okay. You get the point. Then they renewed their vows at a small ceremony. Weird. The renewal wasn't filmed, but they did film the preparation. Their children were in attendance. You're my husband, my best friend, my biggest believer, my one true love. Then he bought her a personalized necklace in January of 2020. That was a vintage Cartier necklace that he engraved. The text read, "This is your life. Married with 4 kids, get people out of jail, cover of Vogue, go to church every week with your family, dreams come true." All right, man. All right.
Okay. Whatever that means.
Because what the fuck? Literally, what the fuck? And then June of 2020, he made this tweet that said, "I'm so proud of my beautiful wife, Kim Kardashian West, for officially becoming a billionaire. You've weathered the craziest storms, and now God is shining on you and our family. So blessed this still life, so I made you this still life. We love you so much." And then there was like some vegetables and like some flowers, but Forbes estimated that her net worth was 900 million. So I don't know what the truth is beyond that, but that tweet was just a lot. And before we get into their relationship breaking down, I just found some funny compilations of the show because, like I said, they are a TV couple and there are funny moments on their show.
I've never used our pool, actually.
What?
Yeah, can you believe that? What? But I love our pool.
Child. Anyway, so.
You can now say that you're not into me wearing a tight dress.
You are my wife, and it affects me when pictures are too sexy. Of course, it's like a formal underwear. It's hot. It's like
Oh my God. So, like, the night before the fact, you're gonna come in here and say that you're not into a corset bag.
Don't ever come at me like that. Don't, I swear to God, I'll punch you in your face.
I just went through this transition where from being a rapper, looking at all these girls and looking at my wife, and oh, my girl used to be just like the other girls, showing her body off, showing this, showing that, and I didn't realize that that was affecting like my soul and my spirit.
I like how he's like, well, when I was a rapper, I liked when you dressed sexy, but now that I'm not a rapper and I'm doing this Christian thing, it makes me uncomfortable.
You built me up to be this like sexy person and confidence and all this stuff. Yeah. And just because you're on a journey and you're on your transformation doesn't mean that I'm in the same spot.
Some of y'all about to be... Okay, this is kind of annoying me with like all the memes they put in here. I'm assuming they did that to like avoid copyright. So we're gonna go watch this other one.
When's the last time you used a pool?
I've never used our pool, actually.
What?
Yeah, can you believe that? But I love our pool. You know, we don't have a jacuzzi.
Can you believe that? Can you believe we don't have a jacuzzi?
We just made sure that it's hot all the time. Because Kanye wanted...
And
like,
look at their house.
A jacuzzi.
Look
like,
at their all beige white house.
Off to the side. And we just wanted like a really long front stair, which has been amazing because all the babies just sit on that stair. And like all the cousins come over.
You said I wanted a jacuzzi? Weird.
No,
off to the
I
side?
wanted a jacuzzi.
Oh, okay. That's like we had in the other
And then
house.
everyone kept on designing them off to the side and it bothered you so much. But the kids love to swim in a jacuzzi.
Mm-hmm.
But so you said, no, the whole pool will be a jacuzzi. Just make it really warm, like the whole pool all the time. We built this like really long stair and it's not the deepest pool. So like the kids like love it.
Remember when Kenny crashed his jet ski with Kim on the back?
Was this real? I don't know if this was real.
Oh my God.
Can anyone confirm or deny if that was real?
Oh my God. What's the one thing you would get rid of if I wasn't around and why? Okay, I'll tell you what I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be...
It's fake. That's what I thought.
TV station that shows Dateline.
Really? But I love it. It like brings me...
I don't know if we'll watch this whole thing.
My day.
What would I
Most
get
of
rid
it's
of?
from this
Rick
one
and Morty.
video.
You think we can handle Rick and Morty every single night?
I'm speeding
Well,
it
it's
up.
been 2 years since the new season started.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. We caught up. You're not into me wearing a tight
You
dress.
are my wife, and it affects me when pictures are too sexy. Of course, it's like a formal underwear. It's hot. It's like it's hot for who though?
So like the night before the fact, you're gonna come in here and say that you're not into a corset bag.
I just feel like I just went through this transition where from being a rapper, like looking at all these girls and looking at my
I like
wife,
watching
oh,
this
my
without
girl
the
needs to be just like
memes.
the other girls, showing her body off, showing this, showing that, and I didn't realize that that was affecting like my soul and my spirit as
But
someone
Bianca
that's
wears
married
a
and
pillow.
loved, and the father of like now with about to be 4 kids.
Kim, shut that down real quick.
You built me up to be this like sexy person and confidence and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And just because you're on a journey and you're on your transformation doesn't mean that I'm in the same spot with you.
Kim, perfect for me is she just is. She's what I like. That's my joy. That's what I like.
Even better than Salida or Amber?
What type of question is that? you can see the passion in it, Kanye, because like if you
I miss VPR.
What
This is
habits did you
depressing by
change when we moved in
comparison.
together?
Okay, so that's just some clips of them when they were married. And then in 2020, Kanye announced he was entering the 2020 presidential race, seemingly doing so with his wife's support. He announced it via Twitter on July 4th. He said, "We must now realize the promise of America by trusting God, unifying our vision, and building our future. I am running for president of the United States." Kim responded to the tweet with an American flag emoji. So perfect. Shortly after he announced what he was running, he outlined his platform in an interview with Forbes. He said he was pro-life and anti-vaccine. That's a little bit oxymoronic, but we're going to move on. But Kim has publicly spoken about the importance of vaccines. Kanye also endorsed Donald Trump, and Kim does not like Donald Trump from what I've seen. Kim said, or Kanye's family will always support him in his endeavors, but they also worry for him, a source told Entertainment Tonight. The family is supportive of Kanye's plan to run for president, but they don't agree with his recent interview. So do you support him or do you not? Because you're like, oh, I support his run, but I don't support his policies, which makes no sense. And then in July 2020, at a political rally, trigger warning, he said that Kim considered having an abortion when she was pregnant with North, when he was discussing his pro-life platform in South Carolina. He said, "Even if my wife were to divorce me after this speech, she brought North into the world even when I didn't want to. She stood up, she protected that child." So I guess it was him that wanted to abort it. He said before telling the crowd that his father, Kanye's father, Ray West, wanted him to have Kim get an abortion. And a source told People magazine that Kim was furious. Kim is shocked that Kanye spoke about North at the rally. She's furious that he shared something so private. Psychotic to drop this extremely personal info if it's real. Exactly. Like, if it's real, that's really fucked up. And if it's not real, that's really fucked up that you would put that publicly. And then he had like a big Twitter rant in July 22nd, 2022. I have not read this, so sorry if like offensive stuff comes up. So we'll scroll back and do it like in the order that it appears. So D&D WTH child this Friday, all positivity when the devil attacks, even if I never see my kids till they're 18, because you believe white people on God, North will never be exploited by the system of white supremacy. His daughter North, white supremacy at its highest, no cap. I don't know, I don't disagree so far. MJ told you about Tommy before they killed him. Kim saved my daughter's life in the name of Jesus. It's God's only choice. I will live for my children. Chris, I'm in Cody if you're not planning another one of your children's Playboy shoots. Come and get me. In Jesus' name. Drake, should I name more? We can handle this like gentlemen. It's just a lot. Chris and Kim put out a statement without my approval. That's not what a wife should do. White supremacy, says the future president. This is just a lot. This is just a lot. And he deleted all of it later. Like I said, he is very clearly going through a mental health crisis when this is happening in a very public way where no one is telling him no. That's one of the most scary things about being a famous person, I feel, would be that no one tells you no. So Kim released a statement, like we mentioned, where she said, as many of you know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this or has a loved one in their life who does knows how incredibly complicated and painful it is to understand. She talked about how the loss of his mother affected him and isolation during the pandemic. She added that her family is powerless in getting him help since he's an adult, and she was asking for compassion and empathy from the public. I feel like if you read between the lines, she's like, my man's crazy. I don't know what to tell you about it. I'm sorry. He later apologized on Twitter saying he did not cover her like she's covered me. I would like to apologize to my wife Kim for going public with something that was a private matter. To Kim, I want to say I know I hurt you. Please forgive me. Thank you for always being there for me. So this just seems absolutely horrific. Horrific for Kim, horrific for their children. It just seems completely terrible overall. And then December 2020, a source said that they were spending a lot of time apart and they're both focused on things that are important to them. Kim is doing her thing, Kanye is doing his. She doesn't micromanage it or worry about it too much. She lets him go off and be who he is. It is what it is. That sounds like a dream marriage. God, this is bleak. They are still a unified family and come together for their kids, though. When these Kardashian grandchildren write their memoirs, I will be sad. And then January 2021, multiple outlets report that Kim is preparing to file divorce. They're keeping it low key, but they are done, and added that they are in settlement talks. An insider explained that Kanye lives in Wyoming. I thought he was never going to leave Chicago again. He just said that. And they live completely separate lives, and reported that Kim is done with the marriage. She's had enough. She told him that she wants some space to figure out her future. He's sad, but he's okay. He knows the inevitable will happen, and he knows that it's coming. I mean, I'm surprised she didn't divorce him sooner. That's why I do genuinely believe that they had like a love between them, because she would have divorced him sooner, I think. He went to Wyoming with Jeffree Star. I debated including the Jeffree Star stuff. You see why there's 122 slides. And then a month later, after those reports, she did file for divorce. And her lawyer is Laura Wasser, if you know who that is. And they're committed to co-parenting together. And then he recreated their wedding at a Donda event, like really shortly after this happened.
Kanye West seemed to honor estranged wife Kim Kardashian at his latest listening party on Thursday. Yeezy hosted a third event for his new album Donda, named after his late mother, in Chicago, and shocked everyone when a veiled woman in all white joined him for the finale of his performance. Many fans quickly thought it was Kim Kardashian wearing what looked like a wedding dress from the Balenciaga Fall 2021 couture collection. The woman, who appeared to look like Kim, walked into the center of the arena to meet Kanye, while what sounded like traditional wedding music played. When she reached him, the pair stood face to face, resembling a ceremony.
This is not a man that's feeling okay about his divorce. Was that when he didn't fuck with Stormi? Oh my god, I forgot about that too, when he said, I don't fuck with Stormi. And she's literally like a baby. He's like so happy to marry her again.
But her sisters Khloe Kardashian and Kylie Jenner both shared the moment on their Instagram pages. The mom of four has joined Kanye at his last two listening parties, hosted in Atlanta, where she remained in the stands. For Kanye's latest event, the rapper transformed Soldier Field in his hometown and built a replica of his childhood home at the center of it all. The 44-year-old.
You know when you build a replica of your childhood home in the middle of an arena and then you pretend to marry your wife that just filed for divorce? I know when I do that, it means I'm feeling really okay and good, and there is no cause for concern at all. Kim is actually so strong for this. No, for real. I would not be able to handle this. She's our strongest soldier. This aired in June 4th, 2021. So this is her crying and says she's been stuck for years in the marriage. And when she says stuck, I think she means it in an emotional way. Obviously, she's not stuck the way some people are stuck, like financially and things like that. She's literally Kim Kardashian. But I think this is a great example of how, like, being with a narcissist breaks you down. No matter who you are and how rich you are, you can still end up in a situation like this.
I feel like a failure, that it's like a third marriage. Yeah, I feel like a loser.
Kim Kardashian breaks down in tears over her marriage troubles with Kanye West on Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I just honestly can't do this anymore.
During part one of the series finale, the Kardashian-Jenner crew headed to Lake Tahoe for one last family outing for the show. But Kim's relationship struggles became evident when she unexpectedly snapped at the family over cookies that were put out for the group to enjoy.
I just want to go to my room and never come out. It's tough because Kim is clearly redirecting so much of her frustration and sadness and anger, and sometimes you just take things out on something that has nothing to do with what you're going through. It's not the cookies' fault.
Kim filed for divorce from the rapper after 6 years of marriage in February, and a source previously told ET that the KKW beauty founder wouldn't shy away from addressing her highly publicized marital issues on the final season. Well, that's just what happened.
I honestly can't do this anymore. Like, I think that I am still in this place where I'm stuck for years. Like, he goes and moves to a different state every year. I have to be together so I can raise the kids. He's an amazing dad. He's done an amazing job.
Is he an amazing dad if he moves every year and you have to do all of the childcare? I know that the nanny's doing the childcare, but you get what I'm saying. Kylie looks frightened.
When Kim sits down to talk to her sisters, Kourtney and Khloe, it's revealed that prior to leaving for the family vacay, Kim had a major fight with Kanye. The aftermath of that fight was shown in a flashback.
He deserves someone that can go support his every move and go follow him all over the place and move to Wyoming. I can't do that. He should have a wife that supports his every move and travels with him and does everything, and I can't. I feel like a f***ing failure, that it's like a third marriage. Yeah, I feel like a f***ing loser, but I can't even think about that.
She said she had to hire a male nanny to be a male influence because Kanye was so absent. Yeah, exactly.
Like, I want to be happy.
But back to Tahoe. Chloe assures her sister that she can always talk to her about anything.
There's
like
when they
honestly
narrate.
nothing to talk about. I mean, I won't live with like the fighting and stuff. Kim is one of the most incredible human beings, literally ever, and she.
But yeah, I feel like she is our strongest soldier. Could never be me. Good luck, girl. I am praying for you. I'm praying from right here. This was also the era when he was living in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Imagine this being the father of your children. So that's what I mean. Like, do I love Kim Kardashian? No. Do I feel bad for her in this context? Yes. While recording Donda, he paid $1 million per day to live underneath the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in a room that resembled a jail cell. With his latest several records, his album arrived in fits and starts, like a lawnmower revving up for 3 weeks. Like, he said it was going to drop, and then he was like, oh, I'm not done with it yet. Here's one song. Here's a teaser. I don't remember the details. There was, like, long articles, but I didn't include them. But basically, the music was supposed to be out, and it wasn't out, and he was still working on it. And he performed at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which is just, like, a regular big venue stadium in a major city. He was like, and I'm staying here till I finish the album. But that was the event where he was supposed to, like, release the album. So everyone was like, do we come back? Or, like, what is the situation? His stay began in July of 2021 as he began to unveil his highly anticipated album, Donda, about his mother. So then a couple days later, after he said, I'm staying here, people saw him with a face covering on at, like, a sporting event at the arena. So, like, he was fully living there. Like, I don't think it was a publicity stunt. He was there. And then he posted this room of where he was living for $1 million a day, I think. I feel like the stadium, this is my theory. He probably, like, was like, I'm gonna stay. And the stadium was like, whatever. And then after, like, 24 hours, they were like, why is he still here? And then they were like, how the fuck do we get him out? And an executive was like, tell him he can stay for $1 million a day. Then he'll leave. And Kanye was like, perfect. And then they were just kind of stuck with him. So soon after reports emerged that he was living in the stadium, he took to Instagram to post a photo of his living quarters. No, this is not the stadium he proposed to Kim in. This is a very different stadium. As someone whose parents got a divorce and had a dad with a lot of mental health issues, the way she handles it in front of her kids is really admirable. It's hard to be in a situation with a crazy ex, but she still acknowledges her kids' feelings about their dad and gives them space to make their own opinions. Yeah. But the little basement room is really just sending me. So then on October 1st, 2021, Kim and Kanye were spotted leaving a restaurant, Nobu, in Malibu together. They were joined by multiple friends, and apparently they left in the same car with Kanye driving and Kim in the passenger seat. I don't think that's that weird. You never know. They could have had to talk about something. And then Kim joked about her divorce in the SNL monologue that she did, and he really did not like that. She said, he's the richest black man in America, a talented, legit genius who gave me 4 incredible kids. So when I divorced him, you have to know it came down to just one thing, his personality. That is funny. The writers did a good job on that one. A source told Page Six that Kanye was front and center in the audience during the monologue, and he'd listened to it during rehearsals, and he criticized the show for mocking his divorce. SNL making my wife say I divorced him just because they want to get that bar off. I ain't never seen papers. We're not even divorced. She filed for divorce. That ain't no joke to me. My kids want their parents to stay together. I want us to be together. She met Pete that night too. Yeah, that is true. I don't remember if I put that in here. And then December 10th, 2021, so relatively soon after, Kim requested to be declared legally single in court the day after Kanye made a public reconciliation offer. He performed alongside Drake at a concert raising awareness about Larry Hoover, all right, in Los Angeles. According to BBC, that the former gang leader is serving a life sentence in prison for crimes including murder. So I guess they had an awareness event about this guy in prison. I don't, are they for him? I'm a little confused. But anyway, he added lyrics to his final verse that were a direct message to Kim saying, "I need you to run back to me," more specifically, Kimberly. And let me show you. He seems sad. A Dutch Bros parking lot. I'm so sorry. More specifically, Kimberly. She is the strongest soldier. I don't know how she did that. The next day, Kim asked California judges to make her legally single and restore her birth name on a court document. In the papers, she states that no counseling or reconciliation efforts can amend the irreconcilable differences between the spouses. She also requested several times for Kanye to bifurcate and terminate our marital status, and he has not responded. From a lot of the articles I read, I didn't get too into like the legal stuff. It seemed like she was trying to push the divorce ahead and he was just refusing. Like, fired a ton of lawyers, wasn't submitting paperwork, wasn't responding to things. It's a bit uncomfy to watch him when he's so clearly upset, and I just don't empathize. Real. She said, "Kanye and I both deserve the opportunity to rebuild our lives. Therefore, I'm asking for my request to terminate our marital status and be granted." The legally single move feels like Chris coded. And then January 14th, Kanye reports that he purchased a $4.5 million home across the street from Kim. So a month after she filed to be legally single, he bought a house literally within that month and then confirmed it less than like a month later, which is literally insane. "My solace comes from seeing my kids and getting a solid schedule. That's why I got the house. They flipped it up to that there was something wrong with me getting a house next to my kids." I do see that, but if that was your true intention, you would have done it earlier. You know what I mean? Like, you haven't lived with your kids for years, so that does make sense. And if anyone else was doing it, I would probably be fine with it. But why didn't you do it earlier? You know what I mean? When my mom took me from Atlanta to Chicago, my dad didn't come to the coldest and most dangerous city in the world to be next to me. "I'm going to stay in Atlanta because of my career," he said. "Nothing with my career with the rap with this media, nothing is going to keep me from my children," and that's what I want everybody to know. Wow. Like the dome Kanye wanted to build? No, we're not getting into that. I don't even know about that. And then in February, Kim responded to Kanye's constant attacks after he criticized her for letting their daughter use TikTok. He turned to his Instagram followers for advice after Kim and North created a joint TikTok app. He said, "Since this is my first divorce, I need to know what I should do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will." Kim and North's TikTok had 5.9 million followers, and it said it was being managed by an adult. Kim responded on her Instagram story saying that her estranged husband's constant attacks were more hurtful than any TikTok Northwest might create. "As the parent who's the main provider and caregiver for our children, I'm doing my best to protect our daughter while allowing her to express her creativity. Divorce is difficult enough on our children, and Kanye's obsession with trying to control and manipulate our situation so negatively and publicly is only causing further pain for all. She also said that she wants to have a healthy and supportive co-parenting relationship. The comments were so funny before she turned them off. My first divorce is funny. That is a lot of shade on Kim. And this is what he posted. It was literally like a screenshot. And the all caps, what do I do about my daughter being put on TikTok against my will? And then she did an interview where she was like, I'm prioritizing myself now that I'm in my 40s. I feel really good. I feel so much better. And he seemed to indirectly respond to this by sharing photos of Kim with their 4 children and said, God, please bring our family back together. Leave her alone! Literally leave her alone. It doesn't seem like she's trying to stop you from seeing your children, so literally leave her alone. And then in February, he took responsibility for harassing Pete Davidson on social media. Imagine your mom dating Pete Davidson. I would walk into the ocean. So he had made a couple of things that he had said. In one of the screenshots, Kim appeared to warn Kanye that he was creating a dangerous and scary environment because Kanye showed a truck full of roses that he sent to Kim's house on Valentine's Day and said, my vision is crystal clear, when she literally had a new boyfriend. And he said, I'm working on my communication. I'm working on my communication. I can benefit from a team of creative professionals, organizers, mobilizers, and community leaders. I'm still learning in real time. He did not write this. There's no way that he wrote that. There's no way that he wrote that. There's no way that he wrote that. And he had said like a lot of things about Pete Davidson. He had asked his followers to refrain from physically harming the comedian and said he's going to handle the situation himself. Pete is your almost stepdad. And then he dated Julia Fox for a little bit during this time. Julia Fox is an icon. I want to do a stream about her, but there's just so much to talk about. And she says that dating Kanye was overwhelming and unsustainable. She said, I didn't sign up to have 2 babies because she had a very young son at this time. Well, she still has the son. He's just a little bigger now. They dated for about a month before they broke up in February 2022. She said that he basically hired all of her friends to be her stylist and he would tell them what to wear, but then her friends like took his side. It's like a whole lot. We could have a whole stream about Julia Fox. I highly recommend reading her book. Down the Drain is one of the best books I have ever read. The part about Kanye is, I think, maybe 4 or 5 pages. Like, it's mentioned and she gives detail, but it's not the whole book. So then a couple days later, Kanye objects to Kim's divorce plans. Kanye's new legal docs are in response to her being wanting to be declared single in legal matters. Kanye's lawyer seems to be worried that Kim might remarry and try and move some of their assets to separate accounts. Kanye seems agreeable to Kim becoming single, but only if there's safeguards in place. So these are the 3 rules that he wants that Kim's lawyers rejected. If either of them dies, he wants to make sure that any money that might be owed to the other gets reimbursed. Is he gonna kill her? Is he gonna kill her? Like, what's going on? Why is that in there? Kanye wants to block Kim from transferring any assets out of trust that they created. And he wants Kim to waive her marital privilege pending a custody decision. So this is interesting. He wants to ensure that any communication between Kim and Kanye is on the court record. That makes sense. The part to me that doesn't make sense is he wants to make sure that if Kim remarries, she would waive any spousal privilege between her and her new husband. So that means anything she says to her new husband, like if she was saying to her new husband, Kanye's pissing me off so bad, that has to go in the court record. That is crazy. That is insane thing to give up. And that's the other thing that I was reading. None of this is normal. none of this is normal in like your average divorce proceeding at all. And then she revealed that they had ironclad prenup terms. So she's basically saying, like, we have a prenup that's really fucking intense. We should be able to get divorced very quickly. She said, I very much desire to be divorced. I asked Kanye to keep our divorce private, but he has not done so. Kanye has been putting a lot of misinformation regarding our private matters and co-parenting on social media, which has created emotional distress. She said their prenup said that all of their earnings and all of their income would be separate property. We both came into the marriage with significant separate property estates. We each wanted to protect our premarital assets and the earnings from those assets and any appreciation of our premarital assets during our marriage. So it states that if they purchased a home jointly, it would be community property, but I don't think they had shared bank accounts. I don't think they were a married couple in that sense. And she says that the property purchased during their marriage was always done with a trust and never in their names. Basically, rich people make a trust and buy everything through the trust, and it like takes liability off them, and it like shields them from taxes and shit like that. The two agreed that the Kardashian would walk away with their $50 million mansion, and yeah, basically their finances were super separate, so like it shouldn't have been a fucking issue. Kris had world-class lawyers on speed dial. No way Kris is letting her children get married without a prenup. And then the court did declare Kim legally single March 2nd, even though the divorce was not final, which is like very unique. This is like groundbreaking law right here. This is, like I said, very unique. I think I'm going to skip through some of this. She's basically saying Kanye West is never moving forward to get divorced, so let me move on. And this little family lawyer thinks that this could become more popular for frustrated divorcees, where like, this matter is not resolving. Can you like separately tell me I'm legally single to like do what I need to do? But also, so like if you get married and you've been married before, you have to bring proof of divorce to get your marriage license. So I wonder like what the ramifications of this are, if anything. And then Kim Kardashian is furious about Kanye's new music video. On the same day she was declared legally single, he released a music video and it referenced Pete Davidson. The source explained she thinks it's too violent and is upset. She's really upset with Kanye. She wishes that he would stop. And he later pulled the video from his Instagram page. So really just a lot going on between them. Some other general lore and drama from 2022. She says they'll always be family, blah, blah, blah. Kanye and I will always be family. I just want my kids to be happy and think the world of their dad. In April 28th, 2022, apparently he flew across the country to retrieve her sex tape footage because this was on the show, The Kardashians. He had personally flown there to retrieve a hard drive from her very famous sex tape that had unseen footage. She said, I know Kanye did this for me, but he also did this for my kids. I want to shield them from as much as I can. And if I had the power to do, or Kanye has the power to do, I'm just so emotional because it just means a lot to me. I know that it was like good that he did this, but I feel like he saw her going through a bad situation, and he did this not because it was the right thing to do, but because it made him look like the hero, and he thought it might make her forgive him. And then she says that she wants her kids to be around him no matter what's going on. She said they have their mornings with dad and get dropped off at school. I always want my kids to be around him. She said she tried everything humanly possible to make their marriage work. They celebrated Father's Day together. Like, it seems like she's really putting in a lot of effort here. Really putting it in here. It's giving she's worth more than he is. The kids spent Father's Day with him. We had a big Father's Day dinner. And she says she received a different level of respect when she was with him, and that's how she arrived in high society, I guess. I think it definitely got a lot of people to have a different level of respect. I don't really see that. I think the time that she was with him was the same time that she transferred from being a reality TV star to really like a business mogul. I think that it's just coincidental that that's who she was married to during that time. I think it would have happened either way. I think she needs to give herself more credit there. And then August 5th, his fifth divorce attorney quits. This is the fifth person to quit on him. She had set a date to officially withdraw, but the judge granted her request early, and he is without a lawyer again. She said that her relationship with Kanye was irretrievably broken, but she would not say why. So the lawyers don't even want to work with him. And then Kanye West lashes out at Kris Jenner over parenting skills. So he posted a screenshot where Kim said, "From my mom, please." Oh, wait. No, that's the second part. Sorry, I went out of order. So on Thursday, September 1st, he unloaded multiple posts on Instagram and said, don't let Kris make you do Playboy like she made Kylie and Kim do. And he seemed to be referring to when Kylie and Kim did do Playboy, and he basically was just like talking shit about Kris Jenner and saying he didn't want his kids around Kris Jenner. And Kim texted him and said, "From my mom, please. Tell him to please stop mentioning my name. I'm almost 67 years old and don't want to feel this. I don't always feel great, and this stresses me to no end." And he said, "Y'all don't have so-so," I think he means say-so, "over my black children and where they go to school. They will not do Playboy and sex tape. Tell your Clinton friends to come get me. I'm here." Yikes. Yikes on bikes. I am scared. I wouldn't want my kids around Kris Jenner either. Real. Very real. And this argument appears to be about which school the kids were going to attend. He wanted them to go to his school, the Donda Academy, which is a faith and project-based school. He said, "It's not up to Calabasas or Hulu where my kids go to school. I'm not the crazy one here. It's up. I won't stop until I have a say-so on my kids, no matter what it legally takes." And yeah, it just seems like quite a lot. So then he said, "Ask Pete how those tattoos of my kids doing in the trauma unit," which is less than ideal. Because Davidson got a tattoo of the Kardashian initials with her kids. So it seems like he's really, really just spiraling. Then he wears a White Lives Matter shirt with Candace Owens. It just seems like things are getting worse. And I think they're about to get worser. Things are getting very bad and very intense. And then he criticizes her Milan Fashion Week outfits. One text said, "No white glasses." Another said, "The orange made me look so mad I would have went to jail before I went out in that." And she said, "He can't help himself. We can laugh about things we like or don't like. No matter how crazy things are, we're always going to be a family." And I'll text him back and be like, "You've been wearing those boots for a long time. So when you're ready to change your outfit, let me know. And then you can have advice on mine." I feel like she's trying to make a joke about it, but your ex-husband texting you that he hates your clothes when you're at Milan Fashion Week is like very, very unhinged. Very, 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 very unhinged. And then he got his accounts restricted on Instagram and Twitter October 2022 as well, because he made a lot of posts that were anti-Jewish. I'm not going to go into all of them, but this was the main one. So apparently he tried to pitch his album to someone that was Jewish and they said no, and then he got really anti-Semitic with it. He said, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going," trigger warning, "DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew also. You guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball whoever oppresses your agenda." This man needs help. This man literally needs help. There's more comments. They're very offensive. I didn't feel like going and finding them, so I'll just leave it at the main one that took a lot of headlines. Yeah, I just wanted to go with the main one that got his stuff taken away, but there were other ones as well. And then more stuff started coming out about his school. So some people on Twitter were saying that it's giving cult vibes, which I don't disagree. A lot of people say it's very sus. It is a private Christian school in California named after his mother, Donda. The school charges $15,000 per year, which is actually not that much. That is a lot of money, but for a private school in California, that's not that much money. I've heard of private schools in California, like K through 12, charging $100,000 in tuition. It has celebrity guests and offers insider connections to Kanye's fashion and music. So why is the school that opened in August so mysterious? One, parents are required to sign NDAs, and the school has a very small cohort of students and teachers, and it is not accredited. So those kids are not going to get diplomas from that. And there's a viral video on Twitter of the students singing "Good Morning, Donda."
Good morning, Donda. 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 Good morning, Donda.
That's him to the right. Are they hiring? I kind of want to get a job here. I'm very curious.
Good morning, Donda. 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 Good morning. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda.
Oh, they shut the school down?
Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda. Good morning, Donda.
I'd rather do this than sing the Pledge of Allegiance.
Good morning, Donda.
So you get the point. It's kind of more of that. So yeah. He said the Dove's first day at Donda. Praise God. It's a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot going on. I'm praying these are actors. Me too. Me too. And then also in October, Adidas terminated their partnership with him, and Gap removes Yeezy items over the anti-Semitic remarks. Foot Locker as well. Basically, every company that was working with him, I'm not going to read the statements. They're very like corporate. We do not stand with that. We are not okay with that. We value diversity. All really more of the same corporate. That does not align. And so he really starts losing a lot of business because of his very anti-Semitic outburst at this time. Imagine paying $15,000 a year and your kid doesn't even get a diploma out of it. He wanted to shave all the kids' heads. Did they shut it down? This is Kim around this time when all of this is going on.
You okay?
No. Not okay. It's having such a hard day today.
Kim Kardashian breaks down in tears over her ex, Kanye West.
We have different views sometimes.
It all goes down on the latest episode of Hulu's The Kardashians. It was all seemingly filmed last year after the rapper made anti-Semitic comments both online and in a since-deleted appearance on the Drink Champs podcast.
The thing about it, me and Adidas, is like, I could literally say anti-Semitic and they can't drop me.
And then they did drop him. So Adidas held out for a long time. The school closed in 2022. Yeah, it was open for a very short time, it appears.
Now what? Now what?
It sucks, you know, when someone doesn't see how different they are.
But you keep looking for that person.
I always will. You'll always, hope that you'll see a glimpse of them. I hope I do.
I just can't. It's okay. What you've been dealing with is not okay.
It's really confusing for me. It's so different than the person that I married, because that's who I loved and that's who I remember. I'll do anything to get that person back.
You know what I feel is so bad for him.
Kim and Kanye finalized their divorce last year after 6 years of marriage and share 4 children together.
Have you spoken to him?
No. And it's like, should
Do you know if that will make you feel better?
No, I don't think he'll probably go off on me.
Following Ye's comments,
At least she knows.
Adidas, Vogue, and Balenciaga severed ties with the rapper, as did CAA, the talent agency that represented him. Several celebs spoke out too, condemning his anti-Semitic rants.
I don't know if y'all remember this, but everyone was
including
mad.
Kim, who tweeted at the time, "Hate speech is never okay or excusable. I stand together with the Jewish community and call on the terrible violence and hateful rhetoric towards them to come to an immediate end."
I feel guilty that I posted something in support of the Jewish community. Then people dropped him today, and I'm like, is that my fault? That
No.
I posted that, and did that push?
When I learned that Kanye is afraid of stairs and windows, I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? This is fully making me feel bad for Kim. I was already admiring her girl bossery, but God, her man was bad.
And I should have just kept quiet. It's I never know what to do.
The whole situation is sad, and I don't know how to emotionally manage it. I'm conflicted because I don't ever want to jump in and be a part of a downfall for the father of my kids.
Kim has been open about the great lengths she goes to in order to protect their children from headlines about their dad.
I definitely protected him, and I still will, in the eyes of my kids.
I remember this is how I found out my dad was anti-Semitic, because he didn't see anything wrong with what Kanye was saying. My condolences. Donda didn't let kids use stairs or chairs. He said to outlaw stairs.
For my kids. So in my home, My kids don't know anything that goes on the outside world. I'm so angry, but I'm also so sad. Your instinct wants to be like, wow, like I could never talk to this person again. But then you think of your babies. I am just in protection mode of my kids and just try to hide everything. I've been managing it the best way that I know how because I want my kids to see a healthy dad. You know, it's just a lot. So I take it like
Is the
day by
healthy
day.
dad in the room?
And all that echoes what a source told ET after her ex married Bianca Censuri in a private but unofficial ceremony in January, explaining that Kim just wants Kanye to be at peace.
I do have a family that I have to just be positive.
So, yikes on bikes. We are nearing the end. November 29th, 2022, they finalize their divorce. They will get equal access to their 4 children, and Kanye is going to pay $200,000 a month in child support. I literally don't care at all if he has to pay money. There will be no spousal support paid by either party, and all assets will be divided based on the prenup. So, literally, such a cut and dry, easy divorce that he drug out for years he drug out this divorce when they ended up basically just going with what was in their prenup. Cool. And Kim gets emotional when talking about co-parenting. She said, I had the best dad and the best experiences. That's all I want for my kids. She says it's a full-time job, shielding them from anything negative. She said she has to put that smile on her face no matter what and blast his music in the car and sing along with my kids. I can act like nothing is wrong, and then as soon as I drop them off, I have a good cry. That is literally like gut-wrenching. Like, that is so sad to think about another woman in that position. I feel so bad for her. I never thought I would ever feel bad for a billionaire, but here I am feeling bad for her. So Kanye got remarried, and a lot of people thought it was not legally binding, but it is very much real in the eyes of the court, apparently. They got married a month after the divorce was finalized, less than a month, because the divorce was finalized on November 29th, and he got married on December 20th. Very, 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 very quick. And apparently religion was the main reason he wanted to get married to Bianca Censuri, because he desired to be intimate with one another. And I guess he's super Christian now. So, whatever, I guess. And apparently he has some unusual rules for his wife. She's not allowed to talk without her permission. She is a 28-year-old interior designer. She can't talk unless he says so. She has to wear what he tells her to wear. He even decides what she eats and makes her exercise, even though he does not work out. It's like she's given up her own choices because Kanye convinced her they're like royalty. Yikes. And apparently that's what her friend said to the Daily Mail. So that could just be like some loser she went to high school with. I have no idea. And he makes her wear a lot of very weird stuff in public. Yeah. I'm not going to show photos of what she wears because from my perspective, this is a narcissistic man controlling another woman, and I think he is publicly shaming her and embarrassing her because she looks like Kim Kardashian, and he embarrasses her by making her wear crazy things in public, and I think it makes him feel good. So I'm not gonna embarrass her in public. So if one day she wakes up and is like, this is not what I want, I'm here for you, girl. I am here for you. I'm not judging you, and I'm so here for you because I'm not judging you, but it's not good. I'm going to be honest. But I'm not judging you, but it's less than ideal for sure. So last thing, the rules for his new wife are low-key the same as the rules he had for Kim Kardashian. This is a tabloid article that was collected from other articles, so it may be a little bit embellished, but this is what she said she had to do when she was with Kanye. He restricted her makeup. He told her what to wear. With the makeup, apparently she said a source said he likes her to be natural and has demanded that she wear less makeup. When she does go out, he insists that she tone it down. He also apparently has makeup rules for their oldest daughter. He and Kardashian didn't see eye to eye. He changed all the rules. I'd let her wear a red lip. I'd let her do a pop of something. And no, I kind of got in trouble for that. So now it's no more makeup. She was not allowed to do spin-offs. She said a year after their wedding, he already laid down the law about what she can and cannot do for work. He doesn't want her filming any spin-offs. That's why it was Khloe and Kourtney take Miami, not Kim. He had a lot of rules for the house. Like we saw, everything was white. She said, I thought the house was was perfection, and he said it's workable. Yet Kardashian seemingly gave in because she believed her husband knew better than her. Even though she had owned homes before. I really didn't know anything about furniture before I met Kanye, but being with him has been an extraordinary education, is what she said back in the day. So that's a lot. They had all the resources in the world and couldn't save him. Yeah, so like he very clearly is experiencing mental health. But one thing that I kind of want to like, the way I view it is like, yes, he is experiencing mental health, but that doesn't mean that he's not doing very real harm to all of these people around him. So I think it's like still worth talking about. I don't think we can just be like, oh, well, he's dealing with mental health crises. Like, yeah, and him not getting a handle on that is like really causing a lot of problems for people. So she also posted photos of their house online, and she wrote, babe, we had a rule not to post our home on social media, so now can we allow Keeping Up with the Kardashians to film in the home? And I just think that's crazy that like you have these rules in your marriage and he breaks them and you're talking about on the internet in front of everyone. And then he has spoken about her dress even after they got divorced. He was on Tucker Carlson after they filed for divorce, not finalized, but filed, and said, I felt like there's a lot of imagery that was over-sexualized and things I wouldn't want to see my wife doing in the future to sell a product. Apparently, he limited her phone time. If we were eating at a restaurant, we had to wait and do pictures when we're done eating. Okay, I do agree with him on that. I would have that rule. That is really annoying when you are trying to eat and everyone's taking photos. He also shaped her friend group. A few years after they got together, her longtime stylist and friend was out of the picture, and like basically he was her stylist, and she said, Kanye got me a new team and we kind of documented it. I just needed a new vibe. And she cut ties with another close friend. And she said that I just feel like Kanye was in a place where he really didn't trust anyone with Kim. So yeah, it seems like he was a very, 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 very controlling. And then apparently she had a business meeting with Meek Mill, and then Kanye West was like, that was out of line. He shouldn't have done that. So yikes. Yeah. Textbook emotional abuse, textbook. That was a lot. And, he unfortunately had like a wardrobe malfunction flash moment recently. So I think that's karma for embarrassing his new wife via outfits. His outfit got messed up. There are all of my many, many sources for tonight. We had a lot. Next week, we are talking about the Denver airport, baby. Lots of conspiracies, lots of weird stuff going on in the Denver airport, and we're going to talk about it. I don't know if anything's actually going on, but it's very interesting to discuss. We were here for a very long time tonight with our 122 slides, but I feel like we moved very quick and did not get off on tangents. What game do we want to play? Let's do Jungle. I like the music on Jungle. Actually, let's do Himalaya. We never do Himalaya. So this is a trivia game about what we learned about. I'm going to paste the link in the chat, and there's directions on the screen. You can do this on your phone. You can do this in a new tab. You can not do it at all, and you can just watch on my stream. But it's 10 questions about what we learned about tonight. They're very easy. I don't want money. I don't want your email. You don't have to make an account. You don't have to do anything of the sort. All you do is go to the website, join.nearpod.com, and then enter our code. Oh my God, it's yay. Stop. Why did I just notice that? YE4WS. And then you get to pick a little character. If you don't want your name to be on here, put something funny. I'm going to go ahead and say good night to the TikTok people. Night-nights. And I will let you all join the frickin' game. I'll give you a couple minutes. Kerchow. Kerchow. Let me check my Instagram messages. Oh my God. I had the best sandwich for dinner. It was on my Instagram story if you saw. If you know, you know. Alrighty. How many people are here? 23. I remembered to make a meme tonight. Perfect. Also, if you're not playing the game and you're more of a meme maker, there'll be a time to share that in a second. Gotta get my spray tan before going to the beach tomorrow. Have fun at the beach. I want to try spray tans. There's 35 people in the game. Our attendance was better tonight. Lately, my numbers have been kind of flopping, and I was really stressed out about it, but we're kind of slaying. It's because I hadn't been posting promos. That's the one thing I miss about corporate America is I would lock myself in that closet in the office and make some promo videos, and there would be people on these streams. That was a cool era. But anyway, I'm going to start doing Pinterest marketing for the stream, so if we get new friends, that's where they came from. Hopefully they can match the energy and match the vibes. What else was I about to tell you? Oh, I am in the process right now of hiring someone to help research for the streams. So, I should have opened it up to you all first because I feel like you all would know. I'll reopen it up. I was going to close the applications because I got like 1 million today, but because you all are loyal streamers, I will open it up to you all again. We're going to play the game, so remind me at the end, and I'll give you directions for what to do. I'm going to go ahead and hit start on the game. If you have not joined the game yet, it'll let you join late. I'm typing up what you need to send me. You're playing your game and I'm focusing. We're very much virtual teaching vibes right now. All right. What did Kim wear to the 2013 Met Gala? When did Kanye run for president? I was proud of the wrong answers here. Kim and Kanye never signed a prenup. True or false? False, they had an ironclad prenup. How many children do they have? 4. Y'all are quick with it tonight. Oh my god, the YMCA does have a lot of LGBTQ history. They have 3. Psalm doesn't exist. Stop it. What is the name of Kanye's school? Was. It got shut down. Or did he just give up? We're still waiting. There you go. It was the Jonda Academy. Where did Kanye briefly live while he finished his album? I was very proud of this question. I love the photo feature. It was the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Props to y'all for answering so fast, right? Oh, there was a lawsuit about the conditions of his school? Damn. What app was Kanye upset that his kids were using? I bet you could find him under the Chicago bean. I didn't even think about him loving Chicago when I put that in there. I was just like, what are other like prominent city landmarks? When was their divorce final? This is a hard question. keeping up with the parking lot in first place. Very nice work. Then we have Annie, Caroline, Caitlin, Good Morning Donda, Southeast, Pete, a Costco shopping cart, Pink Rose Crocs, I'm assuming Lore, Becca, Nico, an airport parking lot, scared of stairs, a lukewarm coffee, Gabby, don't harm Pete, I'll do it myself. 1 million jail, bye baby angel, and Dee Dee. Nice work, nice work. If anyone has memes, and now is your time to shine, now is the time to share them. I'm honestly surprised we got through all of this in 2 hours and 22 minutes. So like I was saying, I am hiring a virtual assistant. The pay is like not super slay, but the work is also not super hard and not super time consuming. I'm thinking around $300 per month. It'll probably be roughly 5, 6, 7 hours a week, depending on how quick you are. I'm very quick, and it usually takes me like 2 to 4 hours. So that's why I did the pay based on 5 hours. So I will send this in the chat in a second, but if you are interested, what I'm doing, I got a ton of people who are interested, so I'm having everyone answer a couple questions and make a graphic just so I can like see how we kind of align. And then those people that I feel like good about, I'm going to pick probably 5 people. I'll give you $40 to make a stream deck, and then of those 5, I'll pick people based on like who did the best job. I just like to be really transparent about like interview processes, because I feel like, I know I'm not like a real job, like I'm not going to give you like a W-2 and I'm paying you less than what's required for tax forms, like I'll pay you via Venmo, as like a service. You're an independent contractor for the IRS watching here. But anyway, I feel like a lot of people, it's just like smoke and mirrors. So I just kind of want to tell you what I'm doing. So I'm going to send the directions in the chat if anyone is interested. If you are not actually interested, don't worry about it. Wait, something happened in the chat. Oh, are you just saying congratulations to each other? Miss Redacted is a job creator. Okay, so here, let me send this in the chat. Is it even gonna work? Okay, there we go. I just sent it. Feel free to copy and paste it. Oh, I hate how it doesn't do like the blanks. I'll post it here as well. It's not gonna let me X. I'm posting it on the screen. There we go. You get the point. Kanye West would like to own you. Stop. George Bush does not care about black people. That was a really, if you watched my Katrina stream, that was like a pretty intense moment, pop culturally speaking. I was Courtney when you read Jacuzzi. Thank you so much for being here. If any of you would like to be my virtual assistant, shoot me an email. It is already 9:30. It's almost my freaking bedtime. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. I will see you next week for the Denver airport. Please look at Dr. Sofyan's fundraiser and donate if you can. What would the stream graphic be for? Instagram? Sure. Either do like a square or a portrait. I'm not really picky on sizing, because if I actually hire you, I'll tell you sizing. I more just want to see, like, if I say make a graphic, like, where does your mind go? Love you all so much. Have a good 4th of July weekend. And remember that the 4th of July is about white aristocrats not wanting to pay their taxes. And we celebrate that to this day, apparently.